Another national conversation is the idea of protecting freedom of speech. This notion is the reason billionaire Elon Musk has just closed a deal to purchase Twitter. The Tesla and SpaceX CEO is purchasing the social media platform that is valued at approximately $44 billion. Musk says it's not about the money or the potential profit. It's about preserving people's right to express themselves freely on the platform within the bounds of the law. What are your thoughts on this, ladies? $44 billion, this price tag.
$44 billion. I think, again, I'm going to go back to, in America, we have such a horrible homeless situation. We also have kids that are being trafficked. We have so many things that $44 billion could go towards. And for me, I don't understand the whole Twitter of it all. I mean, I love Twitter. I understand the platform. I don't understand why this was so important for him. And I feel like, is it free speech or is it hate speech? Is that what we're going to get? Because people can say whatever they want. Are we going to get Trump back on Twitter so that we can have all types of chaos? I mean, it really scares me, honestly. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, the thing is, too, Twitter has become this town hall for statements.
Yeah.
It's been a place where we couldn't get certain news, we could get it through Twitter. It has caused conversations. There are suspicions that they think that he's going to change the rules, like you said, to possibly more openness, and that leads to more misinformation. We just finish, fighting and trying to get certain policies in place on Twitter. Now that it's a private owner, you're going to see something different.
Right.
A lot of people are vowing to leave Twitter. I know Sean King and other liberals, it was trending, goodbye Twitter, because this is something that's serious, because Twitter has really been the only place where we could find different types of news and have conversations about it through everyone. And that's why this is so important, because it can lead to, who's going to be running our country, within the future years. So this is very important.
Yeah.
I actually am really interested to see what happens as Twitter goes private, because I think Twitter has gone really far left.
Yeah.
And even though a lot of times I agree with a lot of the sentiments and statements that are made on Twitter and some of the strongest, most popular tweets that we get that visibly seen make headlines, I agree with them. I don't think that platforms should be biased. I don't think that they should be one-sided. Freedom of speech truly means, and when it's safe freedom of speech, nothing that's damaging anybody or causing people to harm themselves. We're not talking about the actual rules and regulations that platforms still should carry out, so that humankind still has their freedom of speech, but that they don't hurt each other. But at the same time, I think that it needs to be both sides. I want to hear both sides. And I think Twitter, it's gone a little far left, and I want to hear all the sides invited to the table to speak freely.
As long as, like I said, as long as it's not hate speech. But to be honest, I do think that there was some issue that motivated Elon Musk. There's a young man who is actually posting his air flights.
Yes.
And I think he really had an issue with that because he wanted to shut that down. He said because of safety issues, but it was following him. And it's legal to post someone's, because it's through the FAA and stuff. But I think that had a lot to do with it. I would be surprised if that young man's Twitter account isn't shut down. Yeah.
Curious.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it interesting, though, when you look at a bidding war? At the end of the day, who else could bid above
nobody,
Elon Musk, to outbid that price? When you think about it,
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates,
right? But there's only one other person. I'm saying there's not much of a bidding war because Bill Gates he has never expressed any interest to own Twitter. So really, it's one of those things where if you don't take this offer on the table, if the CEO Jack didn't accept this off the table, who else is going to top bid that for him? If you look at it as a business move for him.
Well, as a business move, Jack
you're
is going
such a businesswoman. You're watching this and you're like, this is so interesting. I watch it and go, wow, I'm so poor. But I'd be like, people have this money that it's what do you do with 44 billion? When you can't buy nothing else, you're like, oh, let me just buy Twitter.
Right.
Well, and Jack...
But it matches Elon Musk's goals for when it comes to the world, and whether you agree or disagree with him, when it comes to ruling the world and controlling the changes and the way that we move as humankind, owning Twitter is one of those moves.
Yeah.
Owning Apple is one of those moves. Like owning Google is one of those moves. So he's making a chess move. It's smart.
Yeah, but it's also, to me, it's something that kind of raises your eyebrows because what is the reason for it? And we have to be careful because now it's under his control. It's not under the control of maybe a board that has a number of people.
Right,
that can
exactly.
actually
It's
vote.
a private owner.
Yeah.
Yes, it's 100% motive based. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. And you
Yeah.
know what? I don't have no problem with rich people, but it's what they do with their riches is what is my concern.
course.
Yeah, of course.
So,
I'm just saying it's a motive. It's a definitely motive driven move. But if you are going to control the thought process of this world, you're going to own things like Twitter and Instagram. It is an absolute chess move.
Yeah,
definitely,
absolutely, chess move.
definitely.
If it weren't him buying it, it would be China.
Yeah.